Growing up as the younger sister of perfect Pamela wasn't easy. While she got straight A's and became a successful corporate lawyer, I chose a different path. I wanted to understand business from the ground up, starting as an executive assistant at my Aunt Catherine's tech company, Tech Vision Industries. Another year as just a secretary. Pamela would sneer at every family gathering. Rachel, you're 28. Don't you have any ambition? What my sister didn't know was that Aunt Catherine had personally chosen this path for me. Rachel, she told me 5 years ago, I see myself in you. The quiet one. The watcher. The one everyone underestimates. Aunt Catherine had built Tech Vision from nothing, turning it into a $2 billion company through sheer brilliance and determination. She never married or had children, but she'd always taken a special interest in me, even when I was a little girl drawing circuit diagrams instead of princesses. Your sister might be loud and flashy, Aunt Catherine would say, but true power moves quietly. So I learned. Every day as her assistant, I absorbed everything. How she handled crisis meetings, negotiated deals, managed difficult personalities. I stayed late, took detailed notes, and asked questions that made her smile with approval. Meanwhile, Pamela became the family golden child. She married a wealthy lawyer, bought a mansion, and never missed a chance to remind me of my lowly position. Still getting coffee for a living? She asked sweetly at Christmas dinner. At least you're good at something. Our parents would laugh uncomfortably, not wanting to upset their successful daughter. Only Aunt Catherine would wink at me across the table, a silent reminder to stay patient. Then came the day that changed everything. Aunt Catherine's cancer diagnosis shocked us all. It was aggressive, leaving her only months. Pamela suddenly became the most attentive niece, visiting daily with expensive gifts and grand plans for the company's future. Don't worry, Auntie, she'd say, patting Aunt Catherine's hand. I'll make sure Tech Vision stays in the family. I've already spoken to some board members about taking a leadership role. I just kept doing my job, spending hours with Aunt Catherine reviewing projects, discussing company strategies, and simply being there as she grew weaker. The end came faster than anyone expected. The funeral was massive. Tech industry leaders, politicians, and hundreds of employees came to pay respects. Pamela worked the crowd like a politician, dropping hints about her future role at Tech Vision. Of course, it's what Aunt Catherine would have wanted. I overheard her telling a board member, "The company needs strong leadership, not someone who just fetches coffee." The will reading was scheduled for the next day at Aunt Catherine's mansion. The entire family gathered in her vast library, our parents, Pamela and her husband James, and me. Mr. Harrison, Aunt Catherine's lawyer for 30 years, adjusted his glasses as he prepared to read. Before we begin, he said, Catherine left a video message to be played first. The screen behind him lit up, and there was Aunt Catherine recorded just weeks before her death. She looked frail, but her eyes sparkled with their old mischief. "My dear family," she began, "I know there's been much speculation about the future of Tech Vision. Pamela, darling, I've heard all about your conversations with the board. Very enterprising of you." Pamela preened while James squeezed her hand. "But," Aunt Catherine continued, "I learned long ago that true leadership isn't about who talks the loudest or has the most impressive credentials. It's about understanding every level of a business from the ground up. That's why, for the past 5 years, I've been secretly training my successor." The room went silent. Pamela sat up straighter, smoothing her designer suit. "Rachel," Aunt Catherine's eyes seemed to find me through the screen. "Step forward, my dear." My sister's head whipped around so fast I thought she'd hurt herself. For 5 years, Rachel hasn't just been my assistant. She's been shadowing me, learning every aspect of the company. Every late night, every crisis, every triumph, she was there, watching, learning, growing. While others saw a secretary, I saw a CEO in training. "This is ridiculous," Pamela burst out. "She's a secretary." Mr. Harrison cleared his throat. "Mrs. Catherine Montgomery's last will and testament. To my niece Rachel Montgomery, I leave my controlling interest in Tech Vision Industries, my position as CEO, and my entire personal estate valued at approximately $500 million. The room exploded. My parents gasped. James dropped his phone. "And Pamela?" Pamela's face turned an alarming shade of purple. "This can't be legal," she shrieked. "She's not qualified. She's nothing. I'm the successful one. I'm the one who deserves this." Actually, Mr. Harrison interrupted. Rachel has been secretly attending executive MBA classes for the past 3 years, paid for by your aunt. She graduated summa cum laude last month. I touched the MBA diploma in my bag, remembering Aunt Catherine's proud smile when I showed it to her in the hospital. Furthermore, Mr. Harrison continued, Catherine left detailed records of Rachel's training program, including board member evaluations and quarterly assessments. Everything is quite legal and binding. Pamela swayed in her seat, her face going from purple to white. Then her eyes rolled back, and she fainted dead away. But this was just the beginning. What happened next would shake our family to its core. Pamela didn't stay unconscious for long. As James fanned her face with some papers, her eyes snapped open with a dangerous gleam. "This isn't over," she hissed, staggering to her feet. "I'm a lawyer, remember? I'll contest this will. I'll prove Aunt Catherine wasn't mentally competent." Mr. Harrison simply smiled. "I thought you might say that." He pressed play on the video again. "And Pamela," Aunt Catherine's voice rang out, "since I know you're probably threatening legal action right now, let me be clear. I've had monthly psychological evaluations for the past year, documenting my mental fitness. And Rachel has been recording every conversation where you've belittled her position while bragging about your plans to take over." My sister's face went pale again as I pulled out my phone. "Would you like to hear some highlights?" I asked softly. "Like last Christmas when you told the board chairman I was just the help and promised to clean house once you took over." You recorded me," she stammered. "I learned from Aunt Catherine," I replied. "Document everything, especially threats." But Pamela wasn't done. She spun to face our parents. "Mom, Dad, you can't let this happen. I'm the successful one. I'm the one who made you proud." Our parents looked at each other, then at me. "Actually, honey," Mom said quietly, "we've always been proud of Rachel too. We just didn't understand what she was doing. Like you, we underestimated her." "But now it all makes sense," Dad added. "All those late nights, all those business books, the way Aunt Catherine looked at her. We should have seen it." Pamela's face contorted with rage. "Fine. I'll call the press conference. I'll tell everyone how an unqualified secretary is taking over $1 billion company. The stock will tank." "About that," Mr. Harrison interrupted again. He handed me another envelope. Catherine left instructions about handling this exact situation. Inside was a USB drive and a letter. As I read it, I couldn't help but smile. Aunt Catherine had thought of everything. "Dear Rachel," I read aloud. "If Pamela is threatening to go public, feel free to release the contents of this drive to the board. It contains evidence that she's been selling company secrets to our competitors, using information she gathered while pretending to care about my illness." The blood drained from Pamela's face. James took a step away from his wife. That's not," she sputtered. "Emails, phone records, bank transfers," I continued reading. "All documented. Aunt Catherine knew everything, Pamela. She was testing us both. While I was learning to lead, you were proving why you never could." "James," Pamela turned to her husband desperately, but he was already heading for the door. "I'm a corporate lawyer, Pam," he said quietly. "I can't be connected to corporate espionage. I'll have my assistant send divorce papers in the morning." As security arrived to escort my sister out, she turned back one last time. "You can't do this to me. I'm your sister." "No, Pamela," I said firmly. "You're just someone who never learned that true success isn't about titles or appearances. It's about character." The next few months were transformative. Under my leadership, TechVision's stock rose 40%. Turns out Aunt Catherine's quiet training had prepared me well. The board, already briefed on her succession plan, supported me completely. Pamela's law firm fired her after the corporate espionage evidence emerged. The last I heard, she'd moved to another state, telling anyone who'd listen about her conniving sister who stole her inheritance. But karma wasn't done yet. 6 months after taking over TechVision, I was reviewing old company files when I discovered something interesting. 10 years ago, Pamela had embezzled money from Aunt Catherine's personal accounts. Catherine had known but kept quiet, using that knowledge to watch how her niece would either learn from her mistake or let greed consume her. I sent copies of those records to the relevant authorities. After all, as Aunt Catherine always said, true power means never having to raise your voice. Just wait for the right moment. Last week, I hired a new executive assistant, a quiet, watchful young woman everyone else had overlooked. As I handed her the training schedule Aunt Catherine had used with me, she asked why I chose her. I smiled, touching the photo of Aunt Catherine on my desk, because sometimes the best leaders are the ones no one sees coming. Pamela's arraignment for embezzlement is next week. I sent her a gift to mark the occasion, a coffee mug with "just the help" printed on it. I thought she'd appreciate the irony. After all, as Aunt Catherine taught me, success is the best revenge. But a little pettiness, that's just the cherry on top.